Welcome back, and today we're talking about Higurashi When They Cry, episode 6. Like always, let's just jump into it. Episode 6 of Higurashi When They Cry was a huge setup episode, but before we jump into it, let me remind you to subscribe. We're about to hit 1,000 subs. That's a huge milestone for this channel. I really am enjoying making these videos and kind of building a small community to talk about anime. So yeah, I would really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button. Once we get to 1,000 subs, I'll be making my top 10 anime of all time that I've enjoyed the most. So be looking forward to that. But let's jump into this episode because it was a huge setup episode and we got a huge cliffhanger at the end. I really am excited for episode 6. But this episode starts off with Keiichi kind of being bullied by those thugs, and the whole town, including Shion, kind of coming in trying to protect Keiichi. Now, it looked very sinister. It looked like they were about to hurt those 3 thugs, all the way up until the detective Oichi showed up and kind of de-escalated the situation. Now, there was something that happened here, and this is when my red flag popped up. Whenever Shion was kind of interacting with the detective, she seemed very happy, very calm. But whenever, as soon as the detective showed up, we saw that little quick expression change from Shion, where she kind of got really a sinister look to her, like an evil look. And then whenever the detective leave, once again, she had that really pissed off look in her face. So, red flag alert. We got the red flag with Rina 2 episodes ago, and we all know how that turned out. It was crazy. And now we're getting red flags with Shion and Mion. Mion also got those red flags popping off later in the episode. But later on in this episode, we see Keiichi and Shion kind of go on a little date. Shion and Keiichi had a phone call about tasting dessert, and Keiichi going to her work and interacting with her and stuff like that. And again, whenever they were talking on the phone, I'm telling you, Shion is crazy, okay? They had that sinister look in anime that never fails, where they don't show you the eyes. It has that dark look right on covering their eyes. Very sinister look, like she's planning something that's not good. So yeah, absolutely another red flag for Shion. That was 2 flags in less than 5 minutes. I'm scared of her right now. Like, I'm afraid she's behind me. Shion is somebody you don't want to mess with right now, okay? Especially after Rina. Of course, since the timeline got reset, I'm guessing it was like a whole timeline reset, because we see that the days are going back. The episode started off with June 16th and the big Rina versus Keiichi fight that essentially ended up with Rina, dying. That took place on June 23rd. So we still got a couple days before that big event. But I'm sure this timeline has changed enough to where we're probably going to get a different outcome, especially with what happened at the end of this episode. Now, the big thing that happened in this episode, of course, was one, Shion was kind of talking crap about her sister, Mion. It seems like there's some rivalry right there. We don't know exactly why. It has something to do with Keiichi, but we don't know exactly what it is. Later on, whenever they were, working for the festival and they were done and they took a break, we got to see Tomitake and a new character, Takano. Now, Takano was a little nurse that disappeared about 3 episodes ago, and the detective Oichi was looking into her, like investigating the disappearance of both Tomitake and Takano. Now, my number 1 suspect right now is definitely Takano, because whenever they were explaining the whole Oyashiro curse to Keiichi, we see that Mion got annoyed by it, and I'm guessing that there's 2 alliances in this town, right? Maybe the Mion and Rina, they don't want the secrets of the town, the secrets of the curse kind of being told to outside sources. Outside sources being like Keiichi or Tomitake. And we got people like Shion who maybe don't mind so much telling Keiichi about the curse and how every year during the, I believe it's the Watanagashi festival, somebody gets murdered and somebody disappears. And usually every year it has something to do with people that either supported the dam project or something along those lines. And it's kind of funny how whenever Keiichi found the whole curse and the story and everything, he was kind of screaming like, it has to be somebody from this town. No crap, Keiichi. Of course it's somebody from this town. You can see it from a mile away. Heck, it's probably Rina. It's probably Rina and Shion. and Mion and all of them, okay? It's probably all of them. So, I mean, it was kind of funny because it's kind of obvious, right? That it's obviously somebody from the town. But I will say my number one suspect is Takano, because whenever she was talking about the curse and how people disappear and how people get murdered and stuff like that, she seemed kind of happy. Whenever she was telling the story, she seemed very happy, very energetic about everything that was being said. And I'm like, girl, you're literally talking about in like 2 or 3 days from now, somebody is going to disappear and somebody's going to die. And you're kind of looking forward to it. Number one suspect right there. Number one suspect. Now, when the detective showed up at that scene, we see that Shion, once again, she had that sinister look. Like, I would love to see Shion and that detective in a room locked, because I'm pretty sure it's about to go down. Because she absolutely hates him for a reason. I can't wait to find out what that is. Now, the Watanagashi festival begins. We see Keiichi walking around. We see Rina. Red flag. They're walking around having a good time. This is the happy times, right? This is the happy times. This festival took place June 19th, so we're getting close to that June 23rd date, which I'm guessing is going to be another impactful day, unless next episode, right, we see something big happen, because we got a huge cliffhanger. We saw Shion get Keiichi and take him to the woods, which I don't know why Keiichi would do that. That seems very dumb to me, right? Like, they just told you about a curse and somebody in the town is, killing people and other people are disappearing. And usually it happens the night of the festival. And you got Shion telling you to go out to the woods with her and you're going to go? Hell nah. I would not have gone at all. But Keiichi, hey, he's better than me. He's not afraid. I would have been afraid if Shion tells me to go out into the woods in the middle of the night. I would not have gone. But we see Tomitake and Takano once again trying to break into a shrine. And they want to see what's inside of it. This family shrine belongs to like a certain family, and they don't let anybody in. So they really want to see what's in there. Now, back in episode 1, I kind of made the theory that Tomitake was kind of investigating this town and the people of this town, because this town definitely has some huge secrets. I mean, what kind of town has like a ritual every year where somebody gets sacrificed to the Oyashiro curse? That's the person that gets demoned away. And then you got somebody that dies every year, again, due to the Oyashiro curse. So I'm sure Tomitake is looking into this, and he believes that there's something in that shrine that has a connection to this mysterious thing going on in this town. Now, at the end of it, we see that Shion kind of teases Keiichi, telling him, what, are you afraid to go in there? Are you afraid of the Oyashiro curse? Yes, I am afraid of that curse. If I was Keiichi, that's exactly what I would have said, and I would have ran out. Because to me, and I could be wrong about this, one, Takano, very suspicious. She's definitely doing something wrong. And then to me, it also felt like Tomitake and everybody in that whole group, right? Tomitake, Takano, and Shion. To me, it seems like those 3 characters know exactly what's inside of that shrine, and they're trying to lure Keiichi to go in there. So honestly, I cannot wait for episode 7. I cannot wait to see what's inside of it. Hopefully it's not a big letdown. I'm honestly hoping that there's like, a lot of bodies in there and it goes down and we see like a huge fight, and they're probably trying to lure Keiichi in there to be the sacrificial pawn for the Oyashiro curse. Maybe that's the case. Maybe it ain't. Who knows? But I really am looking forward to it, because so many red flags happening in this episode that I am absolutely excited to see what is going to happen next. Overall, great episode, a great setup episode. So let me know in the comments what you thought of this episode, and like always, go ahead and leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you on the next episode.